jumping ahead 30 years to the 60s, could you discuss briefly the events of May 1968 in Paris? What happened, and what was the decision-making structure they adopted, anarchist or libertarian socialist in nature?
Well, it was so brief and so quirky that it's kind of hard to judge. I have to tell you, frankly, at the time I was not all that excited about it. I mean, there was something good about it. There were efforts by workers and by students to sort of, take control of their own affairs, and that part's to the good. But there was an awful lot of play acting, in my opinion, and posturing, and it was suppressed very quickly with the assistance of the Communist Party, as usual. So it's kind of hard to say. I mean, it had a kind of a socio-cultural effect, but maybe my judgment was wrong, I don't know. But my own judgment was I wasn't all that excited about all the 68 events, that was kind of like the freaky side of the movement in many ways. Had good features, but I thought a lot of negative ones too.
I'm not familiar with the negative side. From what I understand, the students had gathered together and attempted a form of collective decision-making, whereas anybody could address the...
Yeah, that part's nice, but it was a lot of it was very personalized. Let's make love and smoke pot and listen to music and everybody will be happy. Well, that's not the way things work. No, that's a caricature.
It lacked a work ethic? In other words?
Work ethic is a very serious matter. I mean, I'm not opposed to the work ethic. In fact, I think here I disagree with a lot of people, but in my view, one of the most wonderful things in a person's life is the opportunity to do constructive, creative work.
Right.
Here I really go along with classical liberalism, which held that a person's basic needs are to inquire and create and discover and produce on your own terms, of course, not under order, not under command, but out of your own initiative. So I think that all of that, I think that's great. If people had a chance to work, I think they'd love it.
Right.
The work means something you do out of love, not out of need or under command.
But it was too mixed up with
there was
the exaltation of personal freedom. Personal self-indulgence.
That was a large part of it. I don't want to exaggerate. I mean, it was a very mixed and complicated thing with many different aspects. Some of which I thought were okay, some not, and it was over so fast. It was, it's hard to make a judgment about it.
Okay.
We made them both up, sanctity of life and the death penalty. Aren't we versatile? And in this country now, there are a lot of people who want to expand the death penalty to include drug dealers. This is really stupid. Drug dealers aren't afraid to die. They're already killing each other every day on the streets by the hundreds. Drive-bys, gang shootings, they're not afraid to die. Death penalty doesn't mean anything unless you use it on people who are afraid to die. Like the bankers who launder the drug money. The bankers who launder the drug money. Forget the dealers. You want to slow down that drug traffic, you got to start executing a few of these fucking bankers. White, middle-class, Republican bankers. And I'm not talking about soft American executions like lethal injection. I'm talking about fucking crucifixion, folks. Let's bring back crucifixions, a form of capital punishment that Christians and Jews of America can really appreciate. And I'd go a little further. I'd crucify people upside down. Like St. Peter, feet up, head down. And naked. I'd have naked upside down crucifixions on TV once a week at halftime of the Monday night football game. Monday night. The Monday night crucifixions. You'd have people tuning in, don't even care about football. Wouldn't you like to hear Dan Deerdorf explain why the nails have to go in at a certain angle? And I'll guarantee you one thing, you start executing, you start nailing one white banker per week to a big wooden cross on national TV, you're going to see that drug traffic begin to slow down pretty fucking quick. Pretty fucking quick. You won't even be able to buy drugs in schools and prisons anymore. All right, next group, drug addicts and alcoholics. Not all of them, don't get nervous. Just the ones who are making life difficult for at least one other person. And we're not going to bother first offenders. People deserve a chance to clean up. Everyone will get 12 chances to clean up. Okay, all right, 15. That's fine, and that's it. If you can't make it in 15 tries, off you go to Colorado. A perfect place for staying loaded. Each week, all of the illegal drugs confiscated in the United States that the police and DEA don't keep for their own personal use will be airdropped into Colorado. And we're going to turn the Coors Brewery over to the beer-drinking assholes, and everyone can stay wasted, wired, stoned, bombed, hammered, smashed.